exploited, sovereignty lost, people bullied. This is what China's Belt and Road. Resources exploited, sovereignty lost, people bullied. This is what China's Belt and Road Initiative looks like in the Western media. For them, every last square inch of the they insisted on a price of 80 cents per kilogram. The mutual post-colonial future that the people and to help build did everything possible. Enslaved nobody in Africa.
No, they enslaved the Africans to build Glasgow, George. That's what they actually did. They came over to Africa, took Africans to build Glasgow because they were slaves. People owned them. If it's not bad enough going over to South Africa, taking over the place and treating them like crap. Look, Dr. John Campbell does good work in Africa voluntarily. He doesn't do it because he wants to make a business out of the place and they need medicine. Isn't it convenient, after decades of colonialist rule, stealing an entire continent in South Africa, when they could have helped the country? Instead, we have, they get treated terribly by literally everyone. And then, now, when we're all opposing the World Economic Forum, when we're all opposing CBCDs and 15-minute cities and the WHO who want to take over the world, now, isn't it convenient that the men with the suitcases who go tell Arabs how to invest their money, don't ask them, tell them how to invest their money and tell them how to do everything else? These people in the shadows, Boris Johnson telling people not to end wars, the whisperers. Now, China is, we'll develop, Maximus the Merciful, we'll develop China. We'll develop Africa. China will develop Africa. We'll develop Africa. Yes, the exact entire empire and nation that is under complete and absolute surveillance. The worst idea of a society that is imaginable. And the only reason they've built so much is because they're under, literally, next to slave-like control. Next to slave-like, if you don't behave, you can't move around your town. If you do something wrong, at work, you can't travel on a bus or a train. We got one step closer to Glasgow. How convenient that, out of all the superpowers in the world, right? Who do we want to beckon to develop Africa? Not really China, but it seems like, if I was Charles and if I had a strategic globalist world takeover plan and I secretly had China under my thumb because they're about as keen as a lime, then, it would be a perfect chess move to move my new social points, credit system, surveillance country, nation, which I could press a button and if they tried to attack anyone really with their tanks and weapons, I'd just blow them up. With the button that, they have, that really controls the global military, that really controls the world wars, when the beyond leaders, corporate global elite, beyond leaders, as Charles says, with trillions at their disposal, who can push a button and blow up a China missile after it's 3 seconds after it's launched. Isn't it convenient that they would... someone's got to go sort Africa out. Now we've made a complete mess of it. It could be China, the exact nation that we don't want to do anything else. It's the worst idea possible. just God hopes that Rand Paul or someone in Congress actually can do something with those military bases other than, nothing. I mean, what are they there for, all these military bases? They aren't helping, they aren't helping build a railroad, but, we don't want China to build it. I'm sorry, but I do not think that social point system is the best idea. In fact, Congress are rubbishing CBCDs anyway, which I think is the best move possible. It's, I really, really do not think that, if you want Africa to be under a social point system of obedience, which is the next best thing to slavery, then, after they've, finished with Africa, turning Africa into some sort of obedient social point system, which, it might as well be in South Africa anyway, then, you might as well get them rebuilding Glasgow on a social point credit score. And he'll probably put a lot of Glaswegian people off the dole, and help them out with their alcoholism, with their drinking addictions. Because, Neil Oliver might be joining the queue soon. Neil Oliver might be, he might be turning up at the off licence to buy a couple of cans of lager the way he's feeling at the moment. And then he'll be on social obedience point scoring,